This is
Alright guys, so today we got a new build I've been messing with. I call it the Mage Assassin. I'm sure there's other variations and names out there people have done. But it is obviously we're a mage who's an assassin, so it's a sneaking mage build essentially. So that being said, race wise, I went with Britain. It is my top 3 favorite race in the game. Either Britain, Dark Elf, use Dark Elf as well. Um, Ultimer isn't bad, but I like Britain because of the healing magic. You're gonna be restoring your health a lot, unless you just want to chug potions. And I hate alchemy, so that's just start off good with restoration. You also get resistance to magical spells and stuff, so it's really, really good. I went with this origin instead of High Rock because of the strength. Us being using a blade as well as magic, I wanted to have some strength, as well as carrying capacity. Speed, I mean, if you want to be more speedy, go High Rock, but you lose that 10 on strength. The birth sign, I went with the lady. It's just the willpower is nice for your magicka restoration and endurance as well for your health. You get extra more health, and then our health regenerating quickly is nice. Us being a light armor user, and more of a glass candy kind of build. Lord isn't bad as well, for that armor rating and in magic resistance. Especially as in Britain, that magic resistance is ridiculous with an extra 15%. You could also go warrior for that endurance and strength, and then mage would be all right too. If you know what you're doing when it comes to magic builds, Atronach isn't bad. You just lose out on your regeneration of your magicka. So you're either going to be chugging potions or using stones, but the spell absorption is nice with a 50% chance to absorb spells. So it means that refills your gauge. So if you know what you're doing, it's not a bad choice. Pretty strong choice actually. The other one I would consider is Thief. That's just you get 3 extra 10 points towards speed, luck, and agility. It's nice. Agility is going to come in hands with daggers and short swords. Luck obviously is nice. It improves all of your skills, and then speed. So not bad. Like I said, I went with the lady for that endurance and willpower. As far as the class goes, obviously magic assassin, mage assassin, whatever you want to call it. I like magic assassin. We went with alteration, destruction, illusion. We're gonna be using light armor. Illusion's gonna be more of like the bread and butter magic, especially for spells like chameleon, which are really nice because it allows you to kind of go invisible but still attack and stay in that state. Very strong. Obviously sneak. Also chose restoration. Again, I don't like brewing potions, so I can get the cure disease spell, stuff like that. You can do fortify. That's why I also have alteration. If we do find ourselves having to get into more of a melee kind of situation, you can cast protect, stuff like that, starting out. Destruction. Again, our first things to do is to try to get that dagger sneak attack for that 8 times. If that fails, or there's more than one enemy, especially early on in the game when your sneak's slower, destruction is going to be nice. Especially with like cold touch starting off is a really nice spell. Light armor. I also chose mythicism. What am I doing? Where is it? I like mythicism is nice just because for soul gems refilling, if you have magical armor, you can refill them. Or sorry, not armor, weapons. You refill your weapons with that, so you'll be casting soul trap. It's just nice to have. Minor life detection is nice to have, especially in like dark dungeons and stuff. If you're not sure of the layout, I like using that. And then you could switch some of these out. If you wanted to switch any out, maybe armor wouldn't be bad because you're going to be having to repair armor a lot if you get into melee situations. I went with stealth because again, we're gonna try. Our main goal is to try to get once we get our illusion high enough, cast chameleon, get in there, get that 8 times dagger kill in the back, and then I always choose willpower for that magicka regeneration and fatigue. Also, agility levels up our short swords, daggers, bows. I did not go with the marksman skill. You could. You could do marksman. I'm trying to stay away from that because a lot of builds like this do start off like this and then they ease into like a stealth archer build. I'm trying to stay away from stealth archer. I want to do a blade run through. So I would say if you wanted to, you can switch out like mythicism with like blade, which I might do, but mythicism is strong. You could also switch out restoration with blade, but restoration, like I said, restoration is strong, especially if you don't want to be a vampire and you don't have. Let's say you attract vampirism, can't find potions, can't afford a potion, can't make a potion, just cast cure illness. I believe the spell is called, or cure disease, and then bam, you're good. As well as other like hell joint diseases you can get from like wolves and shit like that. So again, if I would to switch anything out here, I would switch out mythicism. So this is the class I'm gonna run with. For now. Also looking at making a Crusader Templar build. So if you guys want to see that, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys are running. Yeah, guys, thanks for watching.